So I am adding another video about prepping your canvas. And so if you do not already spray your canvas when you take it out of the um, when you take it out, you want to make sure you spray it and then let it dry. So make sure to watch that additional video if you have not ever painted with me before. So I have traced the crab on, but I'm going to come back in and I'm going to put my um, background color on, and then I may have to come back and pencil back in some of um, the tracing that I've done. So this is an 8 by 10 canvas, and hold on. So this is an 8 by 10 canvas, and I have gone on and prepped my canvas. And I have added an additional video on how to prep your canvas. So if you've never painted with me before, please make sure before you do anything to your canvas, before you trace it or anything, that you watch that video, because it's really important. It makes your canvas nice and tight so that you don't have any waffling going on in it. So I am going to go ahead and do my background, even though I've traced this on. And then I may have to come back and trace in again some of this, but probably not much. So the colors that I'm using is Folk Art French Blue. And this is Warm White by Deco Art, but you can use titanium white. I just didn't have it at my fingertips. And then I'm also using a little bit of Folk Art Daybreak. So I'm using this 1-inch brush, and here are my colors. So I'm going to I'm not even wetting my brush. I'm just going in with the blue on one side and some white on the other. So there's more, well, more. So we've got blue and white on there. And so I'm just kind of slapping it on, and we'll come back and add some more color to it. But I just want to pretty much get this on here. So I may use like some white in, see how I'm just adding in, just dabbing on some of the white on there. Sometimes I go ahead and I paint my canvas, so you can do either one you want. The one thing that, the reason I did not go ahead and paint my canvas is because I want my colors to really stand out, and I don't want to have to paint over a blue trying to get a red or an orange. So if that makes sense. So in some of these places, there's a tight fit, and you have a number 6 um, angle brush in your kit if you purchased a kit. And so I'm just kind of coming around, trying not to really get so much inside my colors here. Now you might notice he doesn't have his little sticky things sticking out there. It is easier for me to do that after the fact. So I'm pretty much picking up more of the white because I have the blue already on my brush. And so you notice I'm not painting, I am dabbing. And I just like the effect that you get by just dabbing. So I'm not wanting my canvas to be all the same color. So that's why, I go in there and I grab some white, and it makes it a little lighter right here. And then when I want it a little darker, I just grab a little bit of the other. And once I get this done, then I'm going to add in some of the yellow. I hope you enjoy painting this red crab as much as I have. I've done several of them, and I just love them. I do this crab as a blue crab also. And if you are a member of the Art Treasure Painting Crew, you have the blue crab in your guides with the video tracer, supply list. We have like, I think, well, let's see. It's going to be, by the time this goes out, probably 80 video tutorials that you have access to when you belong to the Art Treasure Painting Crew. So see, I grabbed a lot of the dark blue there. And I'm just kind of tapping it on. You can use your big brush, get a lot further doing that when you get out of those little corners, like right here. So this is actually a cooked blue crab. And you can also, if you wanted to, you can just paint your canvas, just do regular brush strokes if you'd like. I just like to give my canvas, especially when I'm doing something like a fish or a crab, I like to give it movement, the background some movement. So I'm going to come back over here and I put the blue and the white on. Then I'm going to switch over here to my other. Get in between these little nooks and corners. And So I'm just painting along here. So I'm going to come back over here and get into these little spots. It's probably the most time consuming part of doing this whole project. Make sure you can see. So far, I think we've done okay where I'm not going to have to retrace. I'm just going to trace over, paint over that, but I can still see it. When it's really hard is when you're doing something on a black background. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my, my angle brush. We are almost through. We just have to do the sides. Yeah, trying to paint the red background, the red crap on top of this background would keep it from being as brilliant as I'm hoping to achieve. And then I just need to get over here between what am I doing here? Right here. It goes down that way. Couldn't see my pencil mark there for a second. Okay, so now I'm going to wipe my brush and I'm going to come in and I've got some yellow on here. And I really don't need a lot of paint, so I'm going to pick some of that up. And actually add some white in right there also. So I'm just barely touching the yellow, adding a little white here and there with it. I actually want it to be kind of fair. Get some more white going on here. So I'm more white than anything, and I'm wiping it back off of my brush. And I just, I'm not making any sense of where I'm putting it. I'm just putting it. Actually, when I see some white spots where my paint didn't really adhere to the canvas, that's really where I'm putting it. Besides, the other. Okay, so I've got that on. I'm actually going to come back right here and tap in some blue because I don't want it so heavy on one side. All right, so now I'm going to take this blue. I'm going to do the outside sides with it. So I'm just coming in here and I'm trying to not come over the sides, but you do want to make sure that you do come sort of under the bottom. Just be very careful when you're coming near to that top. And then where your seams are, you want to make sure you've got we've got paint there. So bear with me just a second, and I'm going to paint all of this. And you can't really see it. So all I'm doing is just painting the edges. Better to do it now. Okay, so we got that one. So we just have one more side to do. Okay. So that is all done. And the yellow just softens it up, is what it does. So I'm going to put these brushes in my water. And I'm not going to need any more of this blue, so since I have quite a bit here, I'm just going to scoop it up into my jar. So again, that was French blue, titanium white or warm white, and daybreak. Folk art and deco art. Okay, so now we can start, and I like to start in the center and work in right there. Let me see if I can, yeah. I'm going to bring you even closer. So you can watch me. Okay, so I have rinsed really well my angle brush. You can also use your flat brush. Okay, we're going to use like cardinal red, maybe lipstick red. There's cherry red by Deco Art, and pure orange by Folk Art. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to turn my crab around. Okay, so this is what we're going to focus on, is that. So let me put some cardinal red down, lipstick red, cherry red. We're going to see which ones we're going to use. I may not use one of those. And then the pure orange. This one is dead. Okay, pure orange. I'm going to also add back some white. Okay. So we're going to do this more in the reds. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to get the cardinal red here. And I'm going to just come in. And again, the way I'm painting this is I'm doing more tapping than I am painting. And this will probably take another coat by the time it dries. This is going to be more in the yellows up there, so you don't want to take the red all the way up. Now I'm going to grab some of the lipstick red. And you know, they're so close, you really don't have to use that. Let's see if this other red makes any difference. No, they're all the same. So I'm going to go in here and grab some of my orange, and I'm plopping it right in with that red in some of the places. Oh, excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my brush, and I'm going to use medium yellow by Folk Art. So I've just wiped my brush, but it still has, you know, the red and the oranges in it. And again, I'm just coming in. And as you can see, the color starts changing, and that's good. And I'm just working that all up in here as well. I'm going to wipe my brush again because of that red coming in. And see that red still just, you get that little touch of red here and there. I like that. So I'm going to pop back over and get just that little touch of the orange. And here and there, I'm going to like go back up into the red with it. Come back down. so that we have lots of color. Isn't that pretty? Okay. I'm going to wipe my brush pretty good, and I'm going to come back into my cardinal red again. I'm going to come up here where I can sort of see through. I can almost see my canvas. It's not real noticeable, but I see it. I'm going to rinse my brush because I'm not wanting that red in there. And I'm going to come in with just a touch of my white and some of the yellow. And I'm going to come around. Then I'm going to come back with some green. That is some of the bit the dust. This is Citrus Green by Folk Art. Got it. I have had problems with this citrus green getting clumpy on me. I don't know if we're going to use this color. Let me just kind of put some in here and see what happens. I'm going to come back over that with some yellow. And I'm not making a perfect line. I'm just getting some of that color in. All right, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go to my lipstick red. And I'm going to get this . I'm going to grab some of my medium yellow. It's going to make an orange, but that is just fine. It's going to make its own orange. So I'm going to wipe my brush. I'm just going to kind of pat that in right there. And I'm going to get out some black. Now, when you're working with black, you want to be oh so careful. So I'm going to take some of this lipstick red. And I'm going to put it right there. Now I want you to look at how little, can you see that? That little dot at the end? Just look what this does. Just a little dot. Takes on a different color. I'm going to do one more dot. Maybe just, I don't think I've got it actually on my brush. Okay, so I've got that darker now. And I'm going to come in here. And even though we're still in the reds, it's a darker red. And I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Right here. Wipe my brush and come back into the yellow. We're going to see what color. And I'm kind of pulling it down a little bit. Need to add some red right there. So that was just our main red, like what we've used up here, that I put in there. So we have that done. Okay. I'm going to rinse my brush again. And we're going to come up to the top of the crab. I'm going to get back into the yellow. And I'm going to end up having to come back after I put this in because my red is already dry, and blend in these two colors. I really like using an angle brush. I use a flat a lot, but I do love an angle brush. Okay, now I'm going to come back. I just touched my yellow to my towel, and now I've added some of the red in here. And I'm going to wipe it off. And I'm going to see if I can wiggle in so it doesn't look like I've drawn a line. I want some of that yellow to come in there. Okay. So I think I'll just touch my red again. And I'm just going to kind of pat in. Just do that till you get it where you go, oh yeah, that looks good. That's all. Okay. All right. I'm going to, this is crocodile. I'm bifocal. I can get it to come out. What's going on? I think my thing is stuck. Oh, here we go. Okay. What is going on? Look in here. This looks like it's dried out. I'm going to take some of that, put it on my plate. That's a new bottle. Okay, wipe off that green off the end. All right. So I'm going to just, even though I have that red and that yellow, I'm just going to go on and just touch in there. And I'm going to have to have some water. Hang on. Okay, let's see what we can do now. So again, I'm just patting in. And I'm going to get the number 2 that we have that came in this kit. And I'm going to put some of our original red in there as well. And then I'm going to come back with my green. And I'm just going to kind of tap in over that so that it's just a different color of red. And then why don't you just get you a touch of yellow. Add that in there too. Just wipe your brush and just add that color right in there. It's amazing how it just gives it a new look. And then I'm going to come back in. I'm going to go into my Christmas red, lipstick red, my lipstick red. And I'm just going to make that point right there. Some of these are going to have teeth on them also. So once we finish, then we will add teeth. Grab a little orange. Maybe the best thing to do is cook some crabs before you start this project so that you can really see the difference. So I'm just kind of adding that red in little spots. Okay, so I'm going to come back in to my green and Start that out there. I'm going to wipe and come into my reds. Really don't need a whole lot of red on my brush. I just really need it for making a new color. Get a little bit more green. Grab some orange. Go back into my reds. And I'm going to also touch that black again. I'm going to start right here. Wiped my brush and I picked up a little bit of that orange. Okay. So I'm just going to get some green and some yellow. And I'm going to kind of mix them together. Okay, now I'm going to come in and get a little bit of yellow. Put more yellow in right there. And I'm going to pick up some orange. And the orange and the green look so cool together. See if I can bring you down a little bit more. And I'm going to come in and get a little bit of red in there. Bring it up into my orange. I'm going to see how this one does. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush and I'm going to pick up some of this yellow just on the tip. And I'm going to work that in. Get a little bit more. Too much. And a little bit of the orange. Okay. So I'm going to just get into my reds here. And I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to wipe and come into my yellow. But as I'm pushing down, that red is coming in with it. I'm going to wipe and then get some of the green added in with my yellow. It's so pretty. Get a little bit more yellow. And a little bit of that green back in right there. Okay. So we're going to have some trimming up to do, around. Okay, let's do a claw. So I'm going to grab that green. I'm hungry. Okay, now I'm going to come in and get some of that lipstick red. Just a little bit. And I'll pat that in. I'm going to go into the yellow. And being that I didn't wipe, well, I wiped my brush, but I didn't wet it. We still have some of that green and that red in here. Get a little bit more yellow. Now I'm going to just touch my red. I mean, I just barely touched it. I'm going to come up here close to these little joints. And I'm just kind of pulling down just get that color in there. Okay. I'm not going to wipe my brush. I'm just going to go into my reds and my oranges. Okay, so I've got that mainly orange. So I'm going to grab a little touch of yellow and I'm going to put it more, not dead center, but a little bit right over here. And I'm just going tap, tap, tap. That's all I'm doing. Just tap, tap, tap. Okay. Now back into my reds. And this is going to be white teeth, his claws. That can really do a number on you. So I want to stay clear. And you really want to make sure you get your paint good in here because you're not going to have any glass on it. So I'm going to touch my black again. And I'm just going to come right come back into my red because we don't want it black. We just want it really super dark right in that. I'm going to have to come back to my other brush, the liner brush. And if your brush is pulling, you just need to touch it to water. Or if you're using blending gel, just a touch of blending gel. Okay, so I put just a touch of the black right in there just to give it a little bit more depth. And then of course this is going to be teeth there. So we will now start with a little bit of red. See if you can, if I put my arm around here, if you can still see. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush really good, pick up some yellow, and then I'm going to come in to my red. Wipe my brush. I'm coming over here with the yellow. Still has a touch of red to it, but I'm going to also see if I can get some of that green on there. There it goes. So we have yellow, orange, red, green. And grab some white over here and take some yellow and white and just kind of tone that yellow down. I'm going to hit that red just a little bit. Wipe off my brush and then come back. I'm just pulling in some of that red. A little bit more red, yellow. Put that in there. Still has that red on my brush, but I did wipe it off, but the red's coming through. Here's my green. And then I'm going to come over, grab a little bit of that yellow. So the green and the yellow are kind of mixing together. Right there. I think I might just pop it right there too. Okay. I'm going to go into a little bit of my red, leave the yellow on there. a little bit of orange. Still with all those other colors still in my brush. Now you can do yours any way you want. You do not have to follow me. A little touch of yellow. Wipe my brush, come over here, get some of the red. I'm just kind of making a little curve right there. A little touch of red there. A little touch of red here on this other one. With the red still on, this, let's see, this is part of a leg. So I'm going to just kind of work that in right there and then come up. Right in there. Grab some of my orange. And I'm just going to bring it on up. Sure you can see. Grab some red. Come back in right there. Put in some red. So we have one more right here. Grab some yellow. Still have red in my brush. I just touched the yellow again. Then I'm going to come over here to my green. I'm going to put a little bit of orange. You can do it any way you want it. I just like to add in color and make them blend. And now we just have that one claw to finish, and then we just have to all the little sharp things, sharp things. So I'm going to put the other color green, but it is not working well. I think we will just bypass that. Let me get that out of there and go back to our other green, which is so darn thick. I'm going to add a little yellow to that and a touch of white. Okay. Just that much. Come over here in my yellow. And I'm kind of tapping in that green along with it. And I'm going to come over here and grab into my orange. And put some in there. Come over here into my red. I'm going to wipe and come into my yellow. And then I'm going to wipe a little bit more because I want to really get a little bit of yellow in there. Then we're going to come over here. That red going. So I'm going to come back into my red. I'm going to grab a touch of my black. And then I'm going to bring that in. Your paint might not be as dried out as mine. I've got these lights on mine, which really dries out my paint. Okay, so when this dries, I can go in with the white. Let me get this liner brush, this number 2 liner brush. Okay. Now we want to make sure we do not have any other colors going on in this. Now I've got the white on there. Sure I don't have any water going on here. And I'm going to paint white down here, and then when it is dry, we're going to take a liner pen and we're going to draw in his teeth. But that's got to completely dry before you get near it with a liner pen, because it will ruin your pen and it won't work. Okay. So we're going to come in and get this where you can see it. On this one, we're going to put some teeth right there. And over here, I'm going to put in some teeth right there. And then some right here. And then down here on this bottom one, right here, we're going to add in a few little teeth right there. Okay. So I'm going to wipe my brush and I'm going to go into, let's see, I'm going to take some yellow. I'm going to take some red. Get a good little pile going here. Want it more red. I'll be there in a minute. Better to do small little things than big ones. Okay. So I have rolled my brush to get some of that excess off. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint in some of those little and we'll be using the liner pen again. Now here is the center of him. Okay, so let me roll my brush again. Okay. Now the next one's going to be where his eye goes. So I'm going to bypass that and I'm going to come over here. Okay, so we've got 3 on this side, 3 on that side, 2 centers, and we'll come back to the other. So we need to do some more of these little, I'm putting it right in where that, rolling my brush again. Here's another one. Okay, then he has some that come off of his little leg here. Hoping you can see that. And there's one up here. One here. One over here. You'll see it when we paint everything. All right, so now we're going to come over here. We're going to put one in there, here, and here. Put one right there. And even one there. Now we were supposed to have teeth right here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was it. And we're going to come down here. They're going to have a there. And I'm just going to, since I have some of this on my brush, I'm going to just tap in I grabbed some orange. Gonna wipe, get a little bit of yellow. Got the sneezes. Grab some of that red. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just wanting to put some color in here. Touch of orange.
Hello, this is Humana calling to ask James Robertson some quick questions about a recent visit to your doctor. To continue this call in English, please stay on the line. Para escuchar.
Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow there. Now I need to go back into our blues, the French blue, and I'm going to just add a little color there, a little there. Let me bring you back up. Okay. I just want to make sure everything's filled in properly. I think that does it. Okay, so let me rinse that off and we'll do the eyes. Here's one. And then when all of that dries good, then we will finish her up. This is when you want to just really look at it and see what you need to add. Isn't it pretty so far? And we're not even through with it. But it's going to be pretty. That's for sure. Let me grab another. Okay. I want to come back in with some yellow, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, and I want to just kind of just in different places. And I do see where I need some more blue, so hang on. Let me get that blue again. And I need to put it right there. Just cleaning her up a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is just go with the liner pen and line it up, and then we'll be ready for glass. So let me get a liner pen. All right, so I know these teeth are ready, so I'm going to come in. Let me bring it down. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm just going to kind of there's one. Okay. These things can sure bite. So I'm going to just kind of do some outlining, but I'm not doing a smooth line. Just little tiny strokes. Then we want to come into the joints also. You want to make sure you get in those joints too. Okay, on these eyes, these are dry now, they have their eyeballs, which we're also going to put a little tiny piece of glass on. Not glass, but a little bubble. So let's get these in. I got to have some more red ones there. Mercy, I forgot them. Get that red. Well, I still have it. Don't know how I missed those, but I'm glad I caught it. Okay, I think that's it. But we're going to have to let those dry. So I'm going to come over and don't forget those little joints. And here we have teeth. Over here we have some teeth. Got a little joint right there. And then we want to do this one. It's amazing how lining them makes such a difference. Now, when I get through with this, I usually sit back and study it for a day before I add glass and make sure I don't need to add some color somewhere. I just think taking a picture of it is very important and looking at that picture You'll be surprised what you'll see in a picture that you won't see looking straight at it. There's a joint there and a joint there. There's one there. That's not going to do it. We are almost there. More teeth. A joint. Another joint. Almost there. Woohoo! I believe I've got it. So there it is. I'm going to give it a day and look at it, and then we will put glass on her.